All right, so get this. We're going deep today, like way back in time.
Right.
We're talking Jacob and Esau. You know those twins from the Bible?
Genesis, yeah.
Genesis.
Right.
And we're focusing on chapter 32, where things get interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. It's a turning point for Jacob, that's for sure. He has to face some tough consequences.
Exactly. See, he's coming home after being gone for ages. And the thing is, he's got this huge weight hanging over his head. His brother, Esau.
Who he, let's just say, didn't exactly treat well.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. Jacob basically stole their father's blessing, which was a huge deal back then. So now he's got to face the music.
And he's scared. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Oh, totally. So first, he tries to, smooth things over, sends messengers with tons of gifts for Esau.
Classic peace offering.
Right. But even then, he's still freaking out. He even splits his camp and all his stuff, thinking, well, if Esau attacks, maybe some will survive.
Talk about anxiety.
Seriously. But you know what's interesting? This whole dividing thing, it kind of shows us something deeper.
It does. It's like he's preparing for the worst, but at the same time, he's praying too, right?
Yeah.
Hoping for the best.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He's not just relying on one or the other. It's both.
Exactly. Practical steps and spiritual reliance. It's this combo of like, okay, I messed up, got to do what I can, but also, hey, higher power, little help here.
Makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Like, how often do we do that in our own lives?
All the time, I bet. But anyway, so Jacob's in this super vulnerable place, trying to make things right, but also knowing he's not in total control.
And then things get really weird.
Yeah, that night, he's alone by the river, and suddenly he's wrestling.
Wrestling. With who?
That's the thing. It's this mysterious figure, and they're going at it all night.
Whoa, like a full-on WWE match.
Pretty much. But this is no ordinary fight. This
No.
is symbolic, deep stuff. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. It's not just a physical fight. It's like Jacob's inner turmoil,
Oh, I see. Like all his guilt and fear coming out.
Exactly. He's wrestling with the consequences of what he did, the lies, the betrayal.
Facing his, what do they call it? His shadow self.
Yeah, something like that. The part of him that was willing to do anything to get ahead, even hurt his own brother.
Man, that's heavy. And it doesn't exactly end well for him, does it?
Well, it's complicated. The wrestler, this mysterious being, gives Jacob a new name, Israel.
Israel. Like the country?
Well, yeah, eventually. But it means one who struggles with God. But here's the thing. He also touches Jacob's hip, leaving him with a permanent injury.
A limp. That's a strange blessing, isn't it? You'd think it'd be something, well, more positive.
Right, but it's a powerful symbol, that limp. It shows that change, even when it comes from God, can be painful.
Oh, that's deep. Like growth comes with scars.
Yeah. It reminds us that our struggles shave us, leave their mark.
So true. But it's not all bad, right? You said it's a symbol.
It is. It also shows that even our weaknesses, our wounds, can become sources of strength.
Huh. I never thought of it that way.
It's like a reminder of what we've overcome, what we've learned. And this brings us to something really important for all of us, even today.
What's that?
Facing our challenges head on. Like Jacob, he could have kept running from Esau, from his past, but he didn't.
He wrestled with it, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. Sometimes we have to confront those things we'd rather avoid. It's the only way to heal, to grow.
Like ripping off a Band-Aid. It hurts, but then it's over.
And you can start to heal.
Right.
And another key thing here is that balance,
Yeah.
between action and reflection.
Okay, how so?
Well, Jacob didn't just pray for a miracle. He sent those gifts. He tried to make amends.
He took practical steps, too.
Yeah, he didn't just sit around hoping for the best. He actually did something about it.
So it's like we got to own our mistakes and try to fix things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just, wish things were different. We got to
Yeah.
take action. But also, there's that other side, too.
What do you mean?
Well, Jacob didn't just rely on himself. He also prayed. He asked for guidance.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance between doing and reflecting.
It's exactly thoughtful action, but also seeking, maybe support from others or even something bigger than ourselves, if that's what you believe.
I like that. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of change, Jacob's whole identity shifts after that wrestling match, right?
Totally. He goes from Jacob the deceiver to Israel, the one who wrestled with God and came out changed.
Wow, that's a pretty big shift. It's like his struggles actually transformed him.
They did. And you know what's interesting? That transformation didn't erase his past. He still had that limp.
Right, that reminder of what he went through.
Exactly. It's like even when we grow, even when we change, we still carry our experiences with us.
The good and the bad.
Yeah, they become part of who we are.
Ah,
But here's the thing, even those tough times, even those wounds, they can become sources of strength, you know?
like how?
Well, Jacob's limp, it was a reminder of his struggle, sure, but it was also a symbol of his perseverance, his faith.
I see. Like a badge of honor, almost.
Yeah, something like that. So, you know, when we look at our own lives, those things we struggle with, they might actually be pointing us towards something deeper.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
It is. It's like those challenges, those difficult times, they might hold hidden blessings.
Wow. So if you were in Jacob's shoes, facing your own fears, your own past mistakes, what would your blessing look like? What would you be willing to wrestle with, to go through, to come out stronger on the other side?
That's a tough question.
It is. But it's a good one to think about, I think. This deep dive has been amazing. It's incredible how this story from so long ago can still speak to us today.
It really is. It's all about facing our fears, owning our mistakes, and finding those hidden blessings, even in the midst of struggles.
Well said. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the story of Jacob and Esau. We hope you learned something new and maybe even found some inspiration for your own journey. Until next time.